We are here in Xi'an, and this place is famous for the Terracotta Warriors. Right now we are in the modern section, Terracotta Factory, where you can actually see them making miniature sizes of the Terracotta Warriors. We're here with our parents. That's my mom.
What, Ian's dad over there?
The one with the hat.
My dad there.
Mum's busy chatting with our tour guide. Another thing that's famous here in Xi'an is that the wooden furniture, you can get ones that have a special lacquer that's on it that makes the wood unburnable. So you can buy these life-size replicas. This officer is about 15,800 renminbi. And they'll cover the shipping by sea for you.
Mum's bought this thing. How much did it cost, Mum?
I bought two, 1,100 Chinese yuan.
I think you got ripped off.
What does it do? No. Looks like my mum bought something too. Everyone falling into the touristy trap.
What did you get, Mum?
I bought this little trinket thing.
How much did that cost you, Mum?
300 renminbi.
300 renminbi.
So this modern section's pretty clever. There's only one entry and one exit, and you have to go through the entire place before you get out, looking at all these trinkets and stuff that you can buy. But now we're heading over to the main attraction, the actual full life-size Terracotta Warriors. This place has about 50,000 people that get through it every day, so we need to stick close. Lisa's got our tickets, got to hold on to these. They're 120 renminbi each, and you have to use them twice to hit it over. Here at the first pit, it's the largest one, the most famous one, and it was found by farmers in 1974. It is insanely packed as well. What a view though, it's incredible.
Xi'an was the first emperor who unified the warring states of China back in ancient times, and he's also my favorite historical figure. And this massive terracotta army was buried with him deep underground and is meant to protect him in the afterlife. There's horses, terracotta warriors, and there's also chariots carry him. There have been 8,000 soldiers excavated, but right here you can only see 2,000 of them on display. They're about 1.8 meters tall, and each one of them are different in facial features. Unfortunately, not all the soldiers survived the excavation process. Some of them are in soldier hospital right now getting repaired. So you'll see that some of them are missing hands, some of them are missing their heads. In pit number 3, and this is an extremely significant one because this is the command center of the entire army. This is where the generals were found, and there were 6 legendary generals here with swords that over 2,200 years didn't rust. It took 700,000 people 40 years to complete this entire place, and what a spectacle it's been. Wraps up our time here at the Terracotta Museum. It was an amazing experience. This was a huge thing on my bucket list item list of things to do in the world. And Xi'an is famous for 2 massive things. One of them was this Terracotta Army. The other thing was the Great Wall of China. We're going to see both in our family trip. Lisa, our guide, has taken us to a really authentic Xi'an place, a local spot. And look at the size of these noodles. I've got slightly spicy, and it comes in massive noodles with a nice pot of oily, chili, spicy goodness on the bottom there. I'm about to go in for a bite, can't wait for this. As you guys know, Yin and I love a really good noodle. This is so silky smooth, even though it's such a massive chunk. I really like the use of the slightly vinegary sauce, and the spice is fantastic. It's the signs of someone who's got some big head. Where are we now?
We're visiting a pagoda. That's about all I know. I wasn't listening.
It's the Wild Goose Pagoda. There's quite a few earthquakes in the Xi'an area, and one of them actually split the pagoda down the middle. Another earthquake happened a few years later, and magically the entire pagoda healed itself and you couldn't see the crack anymore. The locals thought it was magic, but when archaeologists went to the base of the pagoda a few years later, they found that there's like a semicircle mechanism which actually distributes the weight evenly, especially during earthquakes.
We're about to take a walk along the city fortress wall. Up there.
Totally imagine what it was like being a soldier up here back in ancient times. You can see the turrets where archers would have stood over the attacking offenders and shooting arrows down below. This right next to me, I'm pretty sure is an arrow building. So there's lots of tiny little windows where archers can once again shoot little volleys of arrows down below at the offenders.
This is the most well-preserved fortress in China and perhaps even the world. 14 kilometers long, and it also has a moat. It takes about 5 hours if you were to walk the entire thing. We're not doing that. It's around about 6 o'clock and looks like all the lanterns are starting to light up. I'm gonna call that a wrap for today. It's been an incredible experience getting to see all these historic sites with our parents, the Terracotta Warriors, that oldest pagoda, and now walking the city fortress wall. But that's only the start. There's still so much more that we're gonna see.
Morning everyone, day 2.
Morning.
Going to Xi'an, which is one of the 4 most beautiful mountains in China. Everyone's having a little nap this morning because we have to get up a little bit early. Here at North Peak, you're going to be able to get a cable car that takes us 80% of the way up, and then we're only going to have to walk 20% of the way. It's a much more relatively easier walk than West Peak, which also has a cable car. And then there are 5 peaks in total. The other ones are much harder and no cable cars.
Really easy climb. It's not windy at all or anything either, so we don't need a massive amount of layers up here. It's actually very sunny and warm, and it's a pretty spectacular view, but it is quite commercialized as you're coming up. There's a whole bunch of restaurants and shops and that kind of thing, and it's a bit surprising since we don't really see that back in like New Zealand mountains.
Made it to the top of the peak now. The views of the actual mountain itself are really amazing. But in terms of difficulty level, this is the easiest mountain I've ever climbed. In fact, it kind of feels like you're just going up some steps in the middle of town. But it is great that we're going to be able to do this with our mums and dads because they're getting pretty old, and I saw Dad walking up the stairs. He was struggling with even these ones. So that's a massive thumbs up. If you've got grandparents or parents who are getting older, it's a great walk to do with them.
So we had to ditch our parents for a little bit so that we could try and get a nicer view up the more difficult steep side. I think it's called the Dragon's Back, and already it's much quieter, way less people.
How many of the mountains have you done of the
That's
5 famous
the
ones?
famous mountain.
So you've done 3 already?
Yes.
Okay,
I
good.
done Huangshan, Emei-shan, and the Lushan.
Nice.
And look my head.
Yeah.
That was our last night's dinner takeaway. Forgot a spoon.
Passing through Muslim Street on our way to get something to eat, but first of all we're here at the Great Mosque. This was established during the Tang Dynasty, during the time of the Silk Road era. A lot of the Muslim people from Middle East came here, found that Xi'an was a great place to live, so they stayed here. And what's interesting about this particular mosque is that it's all of Chinese architecture. One of the things that I've gone really like to eating here in Xi'an is sticky rice and date thing with stingao. 多少钱啊？10块。10块好。Alright, let's get on the street and eat this little baby. Kind of reminds me of sticky date pudding back in European culture. Delicious. So good.
Such a chaotic street with so much yelling, but finally I found a dish that I thought I'd go for. It's these noodles here, mixed with a bunch of chili oil and some cucumbers. Let's give it a try. Not like peanuts, chili taste, a sesame taste as well. The noodles are really nice and bouncy, and it's soaked in the flavor of all that sauce. A little bit spicy, not too spicy, but it's good.
Wow.
Final day in Xi'an today. We're here with our parents. The rain has kind of followed us, but for now we've got a little bit of a clear sky. We're visiting the Xi'an History Museum.
And I just went into the first exhibit. It was so crowded that we had to wait in line just to get inside, and once we got inside it was like people everywhere pushing for space. But we managed to finally find a couple of spots and read about the history of China and throughout the ages. We're currently in the section for the Silk Road, and it's pretty crazy to think that it's stretched from Japan all the way over to Italy. It's a huge amount of distance to cover, and here you can find all the different treasures that were traded, as well as the main vehicle, which are the camels.
So that wraps up our time here in Xi'an. We stayed for 3 nights, and I think that was a good length of stay for us. We're just about to go grab a quick bite to eat with our family before we head over to the bullet train to Beijing. But before we go, Peter's got a couple of words to say to you.
Don't forget to smash the like and subscribe button. You might want to hit the notification bell too.